Here we have a stick of butter and a cup of brown sugar, and we're mixing it until it caramelizes. And my mom, because this is called Mama Linda, wonderful cooking, homemade cooking, or we're still working on the name, and she's going to add this to some peaches in a second, as you can see over here. She's cutting them up. And now, how should they be cut? Like, how thin should they be cut?
I just cut them in little slices like this, and I leave the skin on for this because it's going to cook off.
Okay.
And it just adds more flavor. A little bit.
So she just added a splash of what kind of vodka or alcohol?
Oh, Holly, careful! It's spilling out. Greek
Maya, or how, I don't know how you pronounce it. Maya. And so we just added Maya to our caramelized brown sugar, and in a second we're going to add the peaches. She also added a dab of salt. And you see how it's nice and caramelized. Make sure that yours is nice and smooth, so that way when you put it in your mouth it kind of just melts even more and it's really smooth.
The alcohol gives it that wonderful taste.
And alcohol.
A little sip, a little taste.
So I just had a little sip of it, little taste, and it's really sweet. And the alcohol just gives it the right amount of sweetness you need.
A little splash of alcohol.
Just a little splash, not much. So now we're adding the peaches, and they've been cut pretty thin, not too thin. You want them a little bit chubby.
You want to be able to taste them.
You want to taste them in your mouth.
And so when we finish with all this, we're going to pour this over some homemade sweet bread.
What kind of bread?
It's homemade sweet bread. It's made with butter and sugar and flour, salt, and a little bit of coconut oil. And I'll show it to you later. I have to make it.
So how many peaches are you using for this?
5.
She's using 5 peaches. And remember, it's 1 stick of butter and 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 little pinch of salt, and maybe like a teaspoon of alcohol, or a tablespoon if you are on the adventurous side. And you see she's mixing it now.
If you wanted to make this really, really fast, one thing that my grandmother would do, which she would throw in, oh, I need to get that out. She would throw in, you know, the pre-made biscuits and croissants. She would throw in the pre-made dough into the biscuits and croissants and bake it for about 20 minutes, and then it would all wrap itself together and come out beautiful and taste great.
How do you make biscuits for viewers who do not know how to make biscuits?
Well, that's my next show. One, we're getting through with this.
I myself don't know how to make biscuits, homemade biscuits. I know there's the Pillsbury ones that you just put in the oven. And they are nowhere near as good. For those who have never tried homemade biscuits, they are nowhere near as good. They have all those preservatives.
Everything that I'm doing is natural. All natural.
Organic, for all you organic freaks like ourselves out there.
Pretty much done, Holly.
And it's pretty much done. Just have to add some of the sweet bread to it. So it's an easy, sweet treat that fellow viewers can make it for themselves within, say, 5 to 10 minutes. And
wonderful.
It's tasty, too. And it doesn't have as many calories as, say, like a Krispy Kreme donut has.
Just so Holly can tell you how good this is, I'm going to give her a little teeny taste.
With the peach.
The caramelized peach, which will go over sweet bread. Make sure it's not too hot.
It's got a lot of tanginess to it from the peach, but mixed with the brown sugar, it gives it like the perfect amount of sweetness, and it makes it taste like you're having a piece of candy almost.
Isn't it great?
Like a really delicious piece of candy, not so overbearing like some of those candies you might get that make your teeth ring afterwards too. And the most calories that you're getting are from the brown sugar, which is nice too, because some of these desserts that you get nowadays have so much calories and fat in them. You can easily calculate how much calories is in this based on the sugar and the alcohol and the butter.
So you think it's great?
Yeah, how much calories would you say is in this so far?
I'm not counting calories as much as carbs, and I would say this is lower in carb than a lot of the different desserts that you have.
It's good for diabetics, which is the most important.
Okay. Good.
So the peaches are done. They finished caramelizing, and now she's putting it on a plate, and she's going to serve it on
As it gets
some bread.
cooler,
Or with some bread.
it'll thicken like a candy almost. It's so tasty.
It's the same way that you would do like an apple crisp or something like that.
Yeah, but it's a peach crisp.
But it's a peach crisp.
These are fresh, and these are fresh peaches.
Yeah, I just repeated what you said.
Okay. These are fresh peaches right out of the farm. They were picked.
Give it that extra juice.
They
Yum,
were
yum.
picked yesterday. And there you have it.
It is licking good.
It is.
Now look at that, ladies and gentlemen. That is a good dessert. And any kind of sweetbread that you get from the bakery or that you make at home, you could use that for now. And as you heard Linda before, the best would be a biscuit. And we're going to do this with what kind of bread?
I'm going to make a sweet croissant bread, and I'm going to pour this over our sweet croissant bread. And you'll see that on my next show. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, viewers, and take care.